You wonder what happens while that's going. That's literally it. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? It is a Monday. Boy, is it a Monday. Let me tell you what kind of Monday it is. I just put on my pajama pants backwards. I fixed them, but backwards. What's up, Rudy? Yeah, it is. Representing. Everybody say hi to Rudy. Rudy is part of the Hey Ho Show every other Friday. Yay! Let's say hi to everybody. Hello, Indy Cindy. Hello, Sandra Oliver. Let's see. Mama Terry. Wendy, hello. Lady in Gray, hello. Angie, hello as always. Mama Linda, hello. Captain, hello. Ooh, it's a chunk of bacon. You're right. It is wild from the recliner. Buffy, hello. Bells, hi. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I don't know what that accent was. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. What is that? Nah, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Oh, well, good news. Good news is I found a lovely sale on candy. Shh, Buffy, you can't hear me say this because I'm supposed to be watching what I eat. But I found a sale on candy, and you all, I am rolling in the deep, as one were to say. I think, as the children say. Do they say that, rolling in the deep? I don't think they do anymore. I've got Riz. This is my Riz. And for some reason, I got these two because at some point Annie had said Junior Mints. Okay, sure. Let it be known that I'm not going to eat these all at the same time. But I may have like half a box or something. I totally broke every single diet possible with a last minute dinner with Rudy. But it was good. But it was good. That is ridiculous. 49 cents. I don't think the conversion rate is that good. I don't think it's that good. Oh my gosh. Well, it's been a day. It's apparently been a night too, because I'm getting constant reminders that there is a quote unquote violent protest on the campus in the city at VCU. I'm not quite sure what was violent, but remains to be seen. Story to be written. So we'll see. But I just keep getting alerts that say violent protest. I know it's like a Palestine thing going on, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Who knows? I don't know who to believe. But apparently, there's kids that were protest. This is the 60s all over again. History repeats itself. But there were kids on the lawn all day. Now, in fairness, there is a law, which I understand to a degree, not really. State held land after 11 p.m. You can't sleep on it or stay on it or whatever. But that doesn't mean that the protests were violent. But then out of buses came police with riot gear on, and apparently made a press to get them off. I don't know. I don't know who threw the first whatever. I don't know what happened. All I know is this. They were hanging out, and then riot gear showed up, and I don't think peace is kept with riot gear. That being said, I understand the necessity of being safe. However, who are they hurting other than the image of the lawn? Let them hang out there. Just put some police around it and make sure they're safe. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. And that's not a political statement on what they were protesting about. That's just, you can either look extremely militaristic, or you can, I don't know. I think you guys know where I'm coming from. Like I said, not a political statement, just like by definition, what made it violent, what is violence. But should be interesting to find out as the story develops. I withhold my judgment to a degree. I will obviously I have a little bit of a thought on this. Um, However, oh look, I hit today's calorie goal for exercising. Look, see what I did? I did that there. I did that there. Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, of course I have a little bit of an opinion on it. I think it's lying to say you don't have an opinion on things. You you obviously have a side, or wouldn't be important enough to talk about. But what I am saying is that I am, while I'm not on the fence, I have no problem leaning on the fence because it's worth looking up the news and the facts. So that's me. So anyways, hi. Let's see. Wait, hold on. I saw a hi Samala. Does that mean Sam's here? Where's Sam? I don't see it. I see Amy. I see a hello Samala. Oh, no, there you are. Hi. Everybody, thanks for joining tonight. Last week on Tuesday, what we did was we finished up Chandler Halderson's brother's testimony. And then we put it on pause because they were taking a break. I think there's a few like speed rounds of witnesses, but there's like 35 minutes left in day one. Then we'll push on into day two because that's just who we are. I just want to let you guys know that tomorrow, today's Monday. Today's Monday. Wednesday noon. Wednesday noon Central. Oh my gosh, JT, get it together. Hold on. I'm gonna hate myself for getting it wrong. Oh, I don't even have it on here. JT. Wednesday, check YouTube. Midday Missing with Terry. Terry True Crime will be premiering. So Wednesday, that'll be happening. And then from here on out, it happens Mondays and Wednesdays, midday. Does it make sense? Don't get it together. You're right. I won't. It's my charm, right? That's part of my charm, being completely aloof and ridiculous. But yeah, so we'll do Night Court tomorrow, same time. Midday Missing on Wednesday. True Crime Wine Time will be Thursday. Friday's open. And then we'll do it all over again the next week. So get ready. Things are starting to speed along. I'm excited. I'm excited for all of it. So let's see. Yeah, same bat time, same bat channel. I almost made a sound like a bird, but that's not twinsies. But a bird is not a bat. So whoops. Let's go ahead and get into this. Maybe we'll take a bit of a respite in between day one and day two. We will see. I'm gonna curse myself though because I'm about to say I haven't seen my little Wi-Fi signal being bad. So hold in there, Wi-Fi. Hold in there. All right. Let's get to stepping. What do you say?
State would call Zach Reed to the stand.
Sir, if you can comfortably and safely testify without your mask, that would be my request. Thank you. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
Zach Reed, Zachreed.
And how were you employed in July of 2021?
I'm the HVAC salesman for, then it was Landmark Heating and Cooling. Now it's Alcivia Heating and Cooling.
And it's kind of an odd question, but what do you drive in the capacity of your work?
Ford Fusion,
Okay. What color?
white.
Okay. And sometime prior to July 7th,
Lie, I don't believe you.
2021, was a work order put in to get a quote for some AC,
Yes,
and specifically for the Oak Springs Circle address.
correct.
Okay. So what exactly were you supposed to do there?
They were looking for a mini split unit, which is just a form of air conditioning for a house with a boiler.
Okay. And on July 7th of 2021, did you in fact go to the Oak Springs address in Windsor, Wisconsin?
Yes.
About what time did you arrive?
I think around 11:45.
Sometime in between 8:30 and 5
Okay.
p.m.
And what time was your appointment, if you remember?
Noon.
Somewhere in between
Did
8:30
anybody
and
greet you right away at 11:45?
No.
At some point, did someone greet you on the property?
Yes.
Tell me about that. What time did that occur?
I don't know exactly what time it was. I had knocked on the door. I was running a little ahead of schedule, knocked on the door, no answer. Went back in the car, started just doing some paperwork, and then someone pulled up. So I just waved. They waved back, kind of got my stuff, my quote stuff ready to go, got out. He was out of the car at that point. And then I introduced myself. Hey, here for a mini split quote. He said, I don't know what that is. Told him, form of air conditioning for house with a boiler. Then he told me that he had just reported his parents missing. They didn't come back from up north. And I was like, oh, do you want to reschedule this?
And do you know at this point who you're talking to?
No.
Just, it seems to be the child of
Yeah, it
the
was,
missing parents.
in my mind at that point, it was just a kid who had reported his parents missing. Yep.
Just a kid.
I don't know if you'll see that person in the courtroom. Do you think if you
I'm
saw that
just a
person, you'd
girl.
recognize him?
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, I would ask everyone who's not in the
Yeah,
jury box to please
for
remove their
sure.
mask for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You can replace masks.
Do you recognize
good
the
behavior?
person you talked to in the courtroom today?
Mm,
And if you don't, that's okay.
Don't know that I saw everybody.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so the person maintained that
You
they
know what?
lived at the house
He's
that
honest.
you had went to on Oak Springs.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you do next after the person told you that he just reported his parents missing?
Asked him if he wanted to reschedule. He said, no, it's got to get done. We started walking towards the house, and then the dog started to bark, and he kind of stopped. And he said, oh, the dogs. And he was kind of just froze. And I was like, are you sure you don't want to reschedule? Got a lot of things going on. And he said, can we do that? And I was like, yeah, not a problem. And then that was it.
How would you describe the demeanor of the person that you interacted that day in the driveway of the Oak Springs address?
Kind of just stressed, I guess. Like he was hearing me, but not really processing what was going on.
Okay. And did you notice anything else about the home that struck you as unusual or just noteworthy?
Yeah, when I was standing at the front door before all of that, I just noticed it looked like the dryer vent came out of the front of the house, and it looked like someone had tried to maybe tape it shut or close it, which in our industry could be weird depending on the type of dryer.
Okay. Did you notice anything about any of the windows in the home?
Yeah, all the windows were open.
No other questions for this witness.
Cross-examination.
Yes, thank you.
Interesting.
The individual that you had an interaction with that day, was that your first time you had an interaction with him?
Yep.
And as far as the request to
Figaro,
go to the home and see
Figaro,
the unit or to talk about the unit, do you know
Figaro.
who made that request?
I believe it was Bart.
And that individual that you spoke to was not, that individual you spoke to that day was not Bart.
Was not what?
Was not Bart, the person that made the request.
Correct. Yeah.
And when you
No
were
questions.
there, we're talking about July, correct?
Yep.
Was it hot that day?
Yeah, I suppose.
And was that your first time that you had gone to that location?
Yes,
So you don't
It's
know
all
what that
relative.
location or what the house looked like up until that day?
correct.
No further questions.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused and released.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good remainder of your day.
Thanks, Zach. That's way too small of a mask for you, sir. Grab one on the way out.
State calls Pam Sidwell to the stand.
I believe you can do so responsibly and safely. It would be appreciated if you would testify without a mask.
Gosh, her hair looks like my mom's.
Thank you.
Sure.
She does not look like my mom.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name and spell both your first and last name for the record?
Legally, it's Pamela, but I go by Pam Sidwell, Sidwell.
Ms. Sidwell, did you know a person by the name of Krista Halderson?
I did.
In what capacity did you know her?
She was my neighbor. She was a coworker for 3 years at a seasonal employer in DeForest. She was a walking buddy, and she was a very good friend.
So you live in the Oak Springs neighborhood?
Yes.
Did you know the rest of the family? Did you know Chandler Halderson and Bart Halderson?
I did.
Again, as a neighbor?
I knew Bart, pretty well. We did things, both Bart and Krista, my husband and I did things together. I knew Chandler not so well. I knew of him. I saw him come into work once in a while, and he actually did a
I feel
few
like he made
odd
it a
jobs for
thing
my
not
mother.
to be known on purpose.
Okay. And towards the end of July, the end of June, beginning of July, did you become aware of a growing medical concern that Krista may have had for Chandler?
Both her and Bart stopped over at our place on, I believe it was Sunday, the 27th. And they said he had fell down the steps and had a concussion. And I said,
What's the sound of a
did
tool
he go to the
chest?
doctor? And
All
she
the
said
sound of
yes.
fingers.
Did Krista reach out to you any further about Chandler's concussion?
Other than it was either Monday or Tuesday of that following week, she texted me and asked me if I'd be around because she was going to be at work and Bart was going to be at the dentist on Wednesday morning. And just in case he had any issues that he could call.
And that was Wednesday, June 30th,
Right.
2021.
Yes.
And what did you answer, Krista?
I said, sure.
This has been previously marked and displayed to the jury as Exhibit 35. This is a note. I see the name Pam on the note and a phone number. Is that in fact your phone number or your phone number as it was in June of 2021?
No. My phone number is 7036.
So it's one digit off.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
But otherwise that information appears accurate.
Right.
Does your husband have the number 1 or 2 digits off of yours?
No, we actually have the same house address. Both cell phone numbers end in 7036 and our home number is 7036.
But Krista giving you a heads up about the 30th that Chandler was going to be by himself.
Yes.
You were kind of on call.
Yes.
At any point in time on the 30th, anytime before, after, did Krista reach out to you and ask you to, hey, be available during the July 4th weekend for Chandler?
No.
Did Krista ever talk to you about plans to go to the cabin over the July 4th weekend?
No.
And I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit 36. And I'm gonna turn specifically to page 3579. And the last text on there, is that the text that Krista sent you?
I don't have my reading glasses.
Oh, that's okay. Hi, would it be okay to give your telephone number to Chandler tomorrow as a backup in case of an emergency? Does that appear to be accurate, what I
Mhm.
read?
Yes,
And does it sound right that that was sent on June 29th of 2021 at 9:26 p.m.?
mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Ma'am, you were
Yes.
bouncing around.
If Krista would have went to the cabin, would it be unlike her to not have somebody checking on Chandler considering his medical condition?
Objection calls for speculation.
Calls for speculation.
I'll rephrase.
Pay the man.
Generally speaking, if Krista had a concern or was going to be out of town, did she try to let her friends and family know?
Yes,
And that was part of habit for her.
yes.
Uh,
I'm going to move exhibit 36 into evidence, but not publish it at this time.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received.
This poor woman is so nervous.
Miss Sidwell,
Amy.
how did you find out that Bart and Krista were missing?
I received a few phone calls, cell phone calls, and I wasn't answering it because I didn't recognize the number. And when I did look at it, I saw there was a voicemail. It was from Deputy Nelson, I believe.
Did Chandler reach out to you at all for assistance during the July 4th weekend?
No,
At any point, did he reach out to you to tell you his parents were missing?
no.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released?
Yes, Your Honor.
said,
Thank you very
no,
much, ma'am.
thank
Have a
you.
good remainder of your day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Where's my sheet?
She is very relieved, and rightfully so. Defense? No, thank you. Hold on, wait. Can we hold on? Give me 1 second. Be patient with me. Hold on.
Released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Angie, can you write down 7/1904 or somebody in the mods, because I'm going to make that no thank you a sound effect.
No, thank you.
It wasn't even a confident no thank you.
May this witness be. Thank you. Detective, if you're comfortable and believe you can do so safely and responsibly, testifying without your mask would be appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Could you please state your name and spell your first and
Yes,
last name for
take-
the record?
yeah.
It's William A. Hendrickson, HENDRICKSON.
How are you employed?
I'm a detective with the Dane County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been employed as a detective?
I've been with the county for 27 years. I've been a detective for 20 of those.
And before that, you were a deputy.
Correct.
Is it fair to say that you did a variety of different tasks in regard to this investigation?
Yes.
And in fact, we're probably going to hear from you multiple times, telling different parts of the story.
I believe so, yes.
So at one point in the investigation, did detectives search for proof of life for Barton?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's basically looking for the last known date or time that we know that the victims were alive and well, going about their daily routine, doing things that people would normally do in their life.
Boy, this guy's got
I'm
an
gonna
accent.
show you some exhibits, exhibit 37, 38, and 39. First,
It's okay to say why. but I appreciate all of you. You all are a wonderful team. That is, I mean, we don't. It's not formal, but I appreciate it because you're good people. Bing.
Exhibit 37.
It's more fun this way.
How would you describe Exhibit 37?
37 is a copy of financial records for Chandler Halderson and Bart Halderson from Settlers Bank in Windsor, Wisconsin.
And why would you get bank records for a missing persons case?
Trying to find out if they have been accessing their accounts, making purchases, if they're making purchases in the area or possibly somewhere else, and attempt to locate them.
And does that appear to be true and accurate records as you got them from Settlers Bank?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yes, it does.
I would move Exhibit 37 into evidence at this
Coming,
Any
mate.
objection?
Of course, of
They are
course.
received.
I have pins and needles.
Detective, I would ask to draw your attention to some of the last purchases or last accountings here for Bart Halderson. Were any purchases made on July 1st of 2021?
Yes.
And what were those purchases?
It was a purchase at the Quick Trip store. It says Quick Trip Madison.
And how much was that one for?
$2.62, it looks like.
Okay.
Stupid idiot.
What else?
There was also one, it looks like it was
That's not the one
some
I
sort of
wanted
a
to hit.
prepayment with maybe UW Health in the amount of $30.
And
It's
were
not
there
the
any
one I
transactions that popped up on July 2nd?
I don't. What I wanted.
Yes, there was a purchase at Qdoba, which is the East Madison location in front of East Town Mall. And that was the only one on that day.
Qdoba.
You work with bank records during the course of your work as a detective.
Yes, I do.
Do purchases always pop up on bank records the day that you make them?
With some companies, they do. With other companies, it could be anywhere between 24 and
I didn't
72
know
hours
that.
before it shows up on a bank statement.
So this was an interesting purchase because it occurred on July
We got him
2nd
here.
of 2021, or at least it appeared so from the bank record.
That's correct, yes.
So did you do any investigation to see what was
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
I did.
I would ask that you describe exhibits 38 and 39, please.
Okay, 38 is a photo that I took from inside the Qdoba. This would have been like a screenshot taken from video surveillance footage, which shows who I believe to be Bart and Krista Halderson on the date this purchase was made. Exhibit 39 is a copy of the receipt regarding the purchase that was made that corresponds to this video footage.
And does exhibit 38 and 39 appear to be true and accurate depictions?
They do, yes.
I would move exhibits 38 and 39 into evidence at this time.
No objection.
They are received.
We'll move to publish. I'm going to publish exhibit 39.
That is very true.
first.
You never really hear about it. Qdoba.
Detective
or
Discreet
Qdoba. I don't know.
hopefully.
We have a.
So the
Was
amount,
there no talk?
looking at the bank records.
Oh no. Sorry, I'm having flashbacks. Hold on. I'm having legitimate flashbacks to Jody Arias. No gas math.
The amount of the purchase at Qdoba that popped up for July 2nd. What was that amount?
It's $26.43.
And you were able to track that amount to this receipt. What is the date on the receipt on exhibit 30?
The date of the receipt is June 30th, 2021 at 6:02 p.m.
June 30th.
I don't like
Correct.
looking
So
at
it's 48
receipts anymore.
hours.
Essentially, yes.
And then I'm gonna publish exhibit 38. And is this the still from the surveillance video from the Qdoba location?
It is.
Oh
So
my.
even though that bank records show that there was activity on July 2nd, that activity actually took place on June 30th.
In this instance, in regards to Qdoba, yes.
I'm sorry.
Was there any other than what appeared to be prepayments? Some people pay
Sorry,
their bills
Ben.
automatically. Were there any other
Sorry,
purchases
Ben.
that were of interest?
Something about a jar of baby wipes that just
There's a number of transactions that took place after
Funny.
the second, at Target, and then there was, looks like some probably payroll deposits that went through, before the, second, and then after the second. It looks like another payment, like an automatic payment to like TDS.
Okay, so some
auto pay.
automatic things that were,
Correct.
that appeared to be.
Yes.
Did you find any evidence at all that Krista or Bart Halderson purchased anything after July 1st of 2021?
I did not.
should have taken their credit card up to the cabin and bought some stuff, man.
Counsel, can I ask a clarifying question? Is Exhibit 37 the records of an account belonging to Krista and Bart? Because I thought I heard you say Chandler and Bart.
It is Krista.
All right.
Bart. I actually believe that there's more than one bank record here, and there is an account that also is Chandler and Bart.
All right, thank you.
You go, Judge, asking the clarifying question. I like this guy. This guy's all right in my book.
And Madam Clerk, did I move Exhibit 37 into evidence? Yes. Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
At this time, may the witness be excused.
That one might be better. 727. Jesus. No, thank you.
But not released.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Detective.
Oh, what's going on? Hold on. Your Honor, something.
This will work in the amount of time it takes and so forth, and was probably had probably a less restful night last night than you would have were it not for knowing you'd be here today.
That's the end. Here we go. Next day. Look at this bow tie. How fancy.
Willing and able to, and
Whoa.
Detective, good morning. If you're willing and able to and can responsibly and safely testify without.
That is much quieter than it needs to be.
Without a mask, we would ask that you do so. Thank you. Thank you.
One moment. Trying to fix this. And it's been a while since I've had to do it, so thank you for your patience. Oh, yes. Maybe. All right. All right. Talks amongst yourselves for just 2 seconds. Okay, let's try this now. What is happening? You guys are hearing it, though, I'm guessing.
I am a detective with the Dane County Sheriff's
That's a little
Office.
better. Hold on.
How long have you been employed in that capacity?
I've been a detective for 14 years.
Oh, hasn't really done anything.
And are you one of the 2 case detectives assigned to this case?
Yes, I am.
I just want to talk to you very briefly about how you go about investigating a missing persons case. What are sort of just generally
Is anything getting better? Just holler at me. Kind of better. Ah. I'm gonna hold on.
the steps that you go through as a detective?
Sure. So usually initially those are reported to deputies who we've already heard from. Based on the information they receive, we do follow-up interviews. Sometimes that leads us to
What happened? Why'd it stop? Is it just me that the sound stopped? Not just me. Okay. What the hand grenade is going on? I don't know why I thought that would help. Okay. One second. Can you hear that? As in you can't hear it? Nada. Ugh. How about now?
I'm going to show you exhibits 40 through 43. Could you please identify exhibit 40?
Exhibit 40 is a USB drive, which includes media interviews.
And who is giving said media interviews?
Chandler Halderson.
And did you collect these from the various news stations in the course of your investigation?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And exhibits 41 through 43, how would you describe those?
Exhibit 41 is a transcript of a media interview that Chandler Halderson did with Channel 3000. Exhibit 42 is a transcript of a media interview with NBC 15 conducted by Chandler Halderson. And 43 is a transcript of a media interview with WKOW and Chandler Halderson.
And what date were these interviews given?
July 8th, 2021.
At this time, I would move
guy who doesn't want to
exhibit
interact.
40 into evidence and would ask to publish.
Any objection to its receipt?
Can we approach for a bit, actually?
Sure.
Can we approach for a bit? Can we approach for a bit? Just a little scuffle.
Please reach out.
Media
Very
interviews?
good. I shall. At certain times during trials, it may come to pass that the parties reach agreements about facts. And this is done for a host of reasons and is always appreciated because it means we don't have to introduce those facts through witnesses and testimony. In this instance, at this moment, the district attorney and the attorneys for Mr. Halderson have stipulated or agreed to the existence of certain facts, and you must accept these facts as conclusively proved. In this case, the district attorney and defendant's attorneys have stipulated to the following facts. The television news broadcasts presented as evidence in this case, including interviews from WISC TV Channel 3, WKOW Channel 27 and NBC Channel 15 are authentic recordings of the news broadcasts. The person identified as an off-camera speaker in these news broadcasts as Chandler Halderson is, in fact, the defendant Chandler Halderson. I also remind you, ladies and gentlemen, about the instruction that I gave yesterday before we first saw a recording. Recordings are proper evidence. These have been closed captioned for you, but again, the closed captioning is secondary. What you hear is the evidence. And I will remind you that if it appears anything has been redacted from these, those are redacted due to decisions made previously before trial. I'll also remind you that it is the statements that are heard on these videos from the defendant, and his identity has been stipulated as the speaker, that is the evidence that's being put forward to
lemonade
you here today.
You know, lemons. It's a cute face, though, isn't it?
First one we're going to play is Channel 3000.
Could he not?
Thanks for staying with us. Officials are still searching for this couple, Bart and Krista Halderson. Now, there are a lot of questions about the Dane County couple's disappearance that we are working to get some answers to, but tonight, police aren't saying much. And that led us to the couple's son, who says he's just as confused as investigators. Adam Duxter spoke with that man today. He's here now with what he learned. Adam?
Well, Eric, Chandler Halderson lives with his parents in the village of Windsor and says another unknown couple picked them up early Friday morning before he was awake. And tonight we're left to wonder what happened to Bart and Krista Halderson. Brett Schuster says his usually quiet street is busier than ever since last night.
I pulled in. There was a couple of sheriffs out there. Then 2 hours later, there's 3 or 4 detectives there. As we saw the detectives enter the house, that's where we knew there's something going on inside Bart's house.
Shortly after, the Dane County Sheriff's Office shared this photo of Bart and Krista Halderson. Police say the couple had planned to go to their cabin in Langlade County. Their son, Chandler, asked not to be shown on camera, but he told us he didn't see his parents leave and added they didn't drive themselves.
They were picked up by their friends, who I never got the name of, and I assumed it was someone I was aware of, the close neighbors of theirs up the street, or their best friends down on the east side. So that's what I assumed. I never really asked any further.
Chandler says he assumed his parents had turned off their phones to avoid roaming charges. And it wasn't until after the holiday weekend ended that he got nervous.
Because this weekend it was packed. I get that. Packed. Maybe the weather wasn't great for messaging.
Tonight, Dane County Sheriff's Office says there are too many unanswered questions to say anything, while Langlade County Sheriff's Office wouldn't confirm they're helping in a search. Police instead spending today interviewing neighbors, like Brett Schuster himself.
The shocked. I mean, it's odd, though. Everything that seems, it's odd and shocking that, you never expect or anticipate seeing something that, especially that close to your house. I hope everything works out and it's just a misunderstanding with communication and comes pulling in the driveway any minute.
And Chandler Halderson says for his parents to leave, even with another person, does happen from time to time. But he tells me another family member went to that cabin to check out cell service and was able to get through.
Hopefully we'll get some answers soon. Adam Duxter reporting. Adam, thank you.
The second video of Exhibit 40 is NBC 15.
Yeah, you'd think they cut it to just what he said, but you think this is, I don't know. It's weird.
The search continues for this couple, Krista and Bart Halderson. They live near DeForest. They were reported missing yesterday. NBC 15's Elise Ramos joins us live from the Dane County Sheriff's Office Northeast Precinct. Elise, you spoke with their son and people in the Haldersons' neighborhood.
Yeah, John, the Halderson's son says that he helped his parents pack up the...
I just want to say this. We have some of the most amazing technology in this world, especially when it comes to telecommunications. So my question is, why are news companies still using a 3-second delay or whatever? Why is there still a delay? There's a delay for us watching it, but there's not a delay for him talking to her because it's a conversation. Why do they still have the delay? I don't Somebody who's more intelligent than me, tell me.
Night before their trip to their cabin in Langlade County, he hasn't seen them since.
I was told they'd be home Monday or Tuesday, and Tuesday afternoon I got a little worried.
Chandler Halderson says his parents, Krista and Bart, were getting picked up by friends that Friday. They were planning to be at the cabin over the 4th of July weekend.
Apparently they did make it. I got a text on Sunday.
Halderson says after that text, he began getting worried when his calls to his mom went directly to voicemail.
That's when I got worried and I went to make a report.
Halderson says his aunt went to the cabin on Tuesday, but did not find anyone there.
Shocked. It's odd. The whole thing is just odd.
Brett Schuster lives next door to the Haldersons.
This is typically a quiet neighborhood. You usually would never see anything like this or anticipate or expect to hear something like this.
One of Halderson's biggest concerns, who his parents were with when they left.
They went with their friends, but I didn't ask who their friends were, so I'm still not really sure.
While law enforcement searches for answers, the community is hoping for the Haldersons' safe return.
I hope everything works out and this, lost communication, they're up north and they pull in any minute. So thoughts and prayers to them and hope everything's fine.
This guy likes to be on camera.
I called the Langlade County Sheriff's Office today for information, and they told me that the Dane County Sheriff's Office is leading this investigation. I'm waiting to hear back from Dane County on whether or not deputies did a welfare check at that cabin in Langlade County. In DeForest, Elise Romas, NBC 15 News.
And finally, a clip from WKOW.
Authorities are still searching for a Windsor couple who have not been seen in days. 50-year-old Bart Halderson and his wife, 53-year-old Krista, were supposed to travel north last week and return home on Tuesday.
But their son tells Tony Galley his parents' whereabouts are unknown.
Bart and Krista Halderson of Windsor had plans for the 4th.
Their plans were going up with their friends and do some minor repairs on our cabin.
That cabin is some 3 hours away from Windsor on a lake in a small community in Langlade County.
Did you literally see them pulling out of the driveway heading out?
No.
Their son, Chandler Halderson, who asked to be off camera, says whoever his parents were traveling with from this neighborhood were to do the driving. He says he received a text from his mother.
She got back to me on Sunday, said they made it safely.
That's the last he's heard from his parents. Neighbor Brett Schuster's reaction to the Haldersons' disappearance.
Wow. My wife is pretty shook up too. I mean, they're a very nice couple, very nice family.
Detectives now go door to door here.
While sheriff's personnel here in Dane County are checking for any and all information, the missing couple's son says law enforcement in Langlade County has checked on the family's cabin there. And he says that visit only adds to the mystery.
The sheriff said it looked like there wasn't anyone home.
Family and friends hope the Haldersons' unexpected extended time away is just that, and not a sign they're in trouble. In Windsor, Tony Galley, 27 News.
No further questions at this time.
Any cross-examination?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Detective, you can return back to the table.
No, thank you.
And the next witness, please.
State's going to call Mary Sesto.
Yes.
Just so you know, Jasper has his own Instagram, and it's Jasper_the_friendly_goat_. So Jasper the friendly goat _ between each word and at the very end. Jasper the friendly goat. Look, here's his cute little Instagram. Look.
No.
He said, but why? But why, Mom? But why? Why, Mom? He's so cute. He's adorable. Jeez. Hungry much? Even the dog's like, dude. adorable. Oh, look at the faces. We needed a little bit of Jasper in our lives. Oh gosh, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Testifying without your mask would be our preference if you would.
Okay, sure, I can do that.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
I do know that you work in healthcare though, so if you feel more comfortable, you are allowed to leave.
Okay, no, I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
It's up to you.
I appreciate it.
That was very nice.
Good morning. Could you please state your first and last name for the record and spell both?
Mary Sesto, MarySesto.
What's up, big and bit?
Ms. Sesto, how are you employed?
I work at the University of Wisconsin in the Department of Medicine.
And did you know two individuals by the name of Bart and Krista Halderson?
Yes.
How did you know them?
Oh, we've been friends since Mitchell was a baby, so 25 years.
During that 25 years, did you ever know Bart and Krista to go gambling?
No.
Tell me about their alcohol usage.
When we were with them, we would have wine with dinner, beer, but they weren't heavy drinkers.
Did you ever know them to drink tequila or gin?
No.
So you knew Bart fairly well. Was Bart one to have large amounts of cash lying about?
No.
You kind of smiled. Can you explain that?
So Bart's a CPA. He was our accountant. I'm stereotyping CPAs, but he was very conservative with his money. Undoubtedly, he bought good quality things for around the house, but it wasn't like he went out to eat at expensive restaurants or bought really expensive bottles of wine. He was conservative with his money.
All right. He's mindful. And you're married, correct?
Yes.
And was your husband also
personal.
friends with the Haldersons?
Yes.
And in fact, did you guys do things together as families or couples?
Yes, we did.
What sort of things did you guys do?
Oh, watched, Badger Packer football games. We would go to the terrace. We've gone to their cabin. My husband would help Bart close his cabin pretty much every year, except for during COVID. So, I guess just general, during COVID, we would hang out at bonfires. So.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about the cabin. How many times do you think you'd been to the cabin?
I think I've been there 2, possibly 3 times. I don't.
And did you, and was it usually with your husband as well?
Yes, yep, the 4 of us.
Did you both ride in the same car with Krista or something, and Bart or something else?
No, we would take our own vehicles.
Can you explain that a little?
Sure. When we went up to the cabin with them for the weekend, backing up, Bart didn't leave a lot of equipment at the cabin. So what he had at the house, so if we were going to be using a chainsaw or cleaning up stuff, he would have to take stuff with him in the car, plus food. Really not a lot was left at the cabin, all their clothes. So there's no way the 4 of us would have fit in their Subaru or my car or my husband's car with all our stuff. So we always took separate cars when we went up there as couples.
Was Bart pretty tight in his packing?
Yeah, he packed well. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Tight, man. Tight like a tiger.
Did Krista have any habits of communicating to you or to anybody else, to your knowledge, when they were going to the cabin?
Yeah. So I know they had gone to the cabin earlier in June, and we knew about that. I had texted her to have fun at the cabin. I hope they had a nice time. But typically we would know when they were going to be gone. Not always, but typically, yes.
Okay. Were they more planned sort of individuals, or were they more kind of fly by the seat of your pants sort of individuals?
Oh, planning.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Would you have considered them cautious in the sense of making sure somebody would know where they were going if they were planning to be up at the cabin out in the middle of the woods.
Yes.
Did you know Bart and Krista a little bit as parents?
Yes.
If Krista was going to be going away and leaving Chandler for a period of time, do you know if she did anything in preparation for that?
Objection. Speculation foundation.
Perhaps lay more foundation I'll sustain, but you can explore.
Were you aware of some of Krista's practices as a parent?
Yes.
Did she do anything specific if she was going to be away with regarding food for Chandler?
She would prepare food, to my knowledge, for Chandler, for the boys, if they were going to be gone.
Do you have any specific knowledge as to their practice concerning the dogs in the cabin?
So the cabin's very dog friendly. So they, to my knowledge, they typically took the dogs with them. When we went with them, they would bring their dogs as well. At the last time we were there, it was just one dog, but they would bring the dog with them. So.
Okay, so the jury got to see a video, kind of a long video yesterday of the cabin, and it looks like there's a lot of property. Okay, so places a dog could run and
swim, and yes.
Okay. How often do you know anything about Krista's habits about keeping in touch with her children?
Yes.
What do you know?
So when we have been out with them, Krista typically texted. I don't know if it was Mitchell once he had moved out and away from college, but I know when Chandler was living with them that she would text them. She wasn't always in contact with her boys.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No, 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 no.
Arrive at the cabin, and even though we drove in certain cars, she would be texting them when she got there. Krista was a very doting parent. I just don't know of a time where, when she was with us, that she was ever out of contact with the boys.
And being up in the cabin, did you generally have cell reception?
Shrimplets.
Yes.
Is that okay? Yes. Did you? How did you learn that Bart and Krista were missing?
So a police officer called me on Wednesday in the afternoon.
Just once for Bacon Bit.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No, 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 no. It's bacon!
To say that Chaz had reported them missing. If I recall, there were several conversations that day, but if I recall correctly, asking about if I knew
Where them
about the
oysters
cabin. I remember saying that we knew how to get, my husband knew how to get there. So if they needed him to give him the directions, but it was through the police officer. And then go ahead.
No, you're fine. What, if anything, did you do once you learned that they were missing?
Yeah, I texted Chaz and I emailed Mitchell.
Okay.
To offer support, see what I could do.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Chaz food, because again, knowing Krista, that she would have left him a set amount of food. At least that's been my experience. We offered to bring him food down to the house.
Okay. And did he take you up on that offer?
He elected to come up to our house.
Okay. And where do you live in connection to the 4595 Oak Springs Circle address?
So just up the hill from them. Okay. So
you guys are neighbors?
Yes.
Okay. And then do you remember, was it July 7th that Chandler came over for dinner?
Is that Wednesday, July 7th?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me about that night. Do you remember about what time Chandler arrived?
It was probably somewhere around 7:45 to 8 p.m. if I remember correctly.
Okay. And how did the evening begin?
Just, we expressed how sorry we were, how worried we were, what could we do to help. We did talk about police going to the cabin.
That's her name, Captain Truths.
So do you want me to state?
She's got great cereal too when she's feeling crunchy.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Was your husband, you said we, was the we your husband?
My husband was there.
Okay.
For most of it.
Was he there for the entire evening?
No, he ran to grab pizza.
Okay.
But it was.
And was that pretty early on?
Probably 20 to 30 minutes, I'm guessing, after Chandler got there, because we waited.
It's
to order the
been
pizza
84
until
years.
it's at our house.
What did you and Chandler do while your husband was out getting the pizza?
We talked. By that point, there were things that were said that just didn't align with the couple that I knew. So I went out into the kitchen to just put some distance.
She said.
It was just a bit uncomfortable.
Okay. Let's back up a little bit. You said that you started to feel uncomfortable and some things were said that didn't line up. What was said?
So Chandler was actually trying to be very assuring that that they had taken a large roll of cash. They wanted to blow off some steam. They were going to go gamble. That they had taken a tote of booze with gin and tequila in it, which were not, as I mentioned, alcohol, as I was aware of them drinking. And that they drove with another couple. So those things just.
One and one were not equal.
No, that it's just, it wasn't the people I knew.
Okay. So you said you went to the kitchen. Why did you go to the kitchen?
Because he was just the things he was saying. He was just very, what I perceived as, just emotionally flat. I don't know. I was uncomfortable. So when my husband left, I stepped into the kitchen.
So some people are kind of emotionally
Right.
flat, and that's just kind of how they present. Was that
Rude.
Chandler most of the time?
Not to that extent. So like that evening when he was at our house and he talked about the dogs and how he was frustrated that he expressed concern that the dogs had been locked out in the garage during the whole time that the detectives or police were there, and he got emotional that they didn't deserve that. They shouldn't be out there. So it was more so than when he spoke about his parents that I more emotionally flat. And
So he got more emotional over the dogs than his mom and dad being missing.
yes, yes, when he talked about the dogs, there was more emotion.
Why do you move into the kitchen?
I just felt uncomfortable. I wanted me to be between the door and him. And again, he did not do anything that was physically concerning. I just was uncomfortable because what he was saying, it was not making sense to me.
Okay, so you put yourself between him and the door.
Correct.
And when you say door, I am
Front door.
assume the front door, the door to go outside.
Yep.
Okay. What sort of things do you and Chandler discuss once you're in the kitchen?
I don't recall that we had a lot of discussions specific when we were in the kitchen. We kept it light. It was, I really don't recall anything that occurred there. When my husband came back, and again, I don't remember if it was before he left or when he came back, we talked about, he said that Krista had texted him on Sunday. And again, I'm sorry, I just don't remember that occurred before my husband left for
No,
pizza
that's okay.
or when he came back. But I couldn't believe that if they had left on Friday. I've never, ever known her in 25 years, once the boys were old enough, that she was out of contact from them for that length of time.
Did you and Chandler have any discussions about phones?
Oh, yes. So I was trying to be reassuring that, don't worry, because in my brain at that point, I'm thinking they're in a car wreck on the side of the road. Something like that happened. And so I said that, don't worry, they can track their phones. They can look at where the location of the phone is, and hopefully that will find them. And his comment was, no, they can't do that.
Okay. And how did he say that?
Just very flat. They can't do that.
Did you talk at
Yes, I
all
can,
about
Chandler.
Chandler's medical concerns at that time?
Yes, so he had mentioned that because of his concussion, it wasn't clear if he had the CAT scan or was scheduled for the CAT scan, but that there was going to be a large deductible with that. And then I made the comment, and I don't know if this will make sense, but I made the comment, well, you'll be getting that large paycheck from American Family. So not exactly what you wanted to go to, but at least you have those resources. And so we had been told that Chandler had roughly a 6-month position with American Family that progressed from an internship to a paid position, but that he hadn't been getting paid
In
and that
6
he was going to
months?
be getting this large
No.
check. And then he
I
made the
think so.
comment that something along the lines that didn't work out or that's not going to happen. And I was really uncomfortable with things that were being said prior to that. But that was, I remember like thinking, I just need him to leave now because nothing, I don't believe anything he said. So.
On point.
At any point that evening, were you able to observe Chandler's feet?
Oh, yes.
Specifically his big toe.
His big toe. He had asked, and this is towards the end of the evening when he was there, that he had there was a cut on his toe from some broken glass from the fireplace. He said that the dogs, they were playing ball downstairs and the dog ran in and broke the fireplace glass. And so he wanted me to look at his toe. So he took off his shoe and sock and sort of bent over and was showing me the bottom of his foot, the bottom of his toe. So, I mean, there was a small cut there.
How big would you say that cut was?
I don't know, small was more than just a puncture, but probably like less than 1/8 of an inch, little round area. It wasn't, yes.
All right. And you had talked to him about the CAT scan, and you said you work at the medical school. What's your job?
So I'm a researcher. So I'm also, my background, I'm a physical therapist, but I haven't practiced clinically for a couple decades. So
how was Chandler's movement
Fine.
during the evening at your house?
Fine. I noticed no.
Objection.
Oh.
Can we approach?
Okay.
She said nothing wrong. Maybe she did.
Rephrase the question slightly. Could you describe how Chandler moved the evening he was at your house on July 7th of 2021?
So I did not. So as an example, when he asked me to look at his foot, he was seated in a chair. He bent fully forward, pulled his foot up, turned his head so we could both look at the bottom of his foot. I didn't see any restrictions in his motion during that, which it's full spine motion for him to do. I do not recall any restrictions in his movement or at any other time in the evening.
Okay. No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you.
Good morning, Miss Esther.
Oh,
I'm
she's
gonna
working.
sit here just for the mic situation. Can you hear
Are
me?
you?
just fine?
Oh, I'm fine. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. A couple questions for you. How long would you say that you've known Brett and Krista Halderson?
I think 25 years. I believe it was when Mitch, I think it was after Mitch was born that we met him through another neighbor.
Okay. And in that time, I'm going to assume that you had a lot of one-on-one time with Krista.
Yes, I mean.
Oh, where are you going with this?
Krista and Bart. I mean, we did a lot with them as a couple.
So as a couple, you hung out a lot.
Yes.
You went to dinner.
Mhm.
And how often would you
Reminds
say
me of the
that you
scary
had
stories to tell in the
one-on-one time
dark.
with
My
Chandler?
big toe.
Just one-on-one. Let me think about that. I know, like when we would stop over at their home, Krista would want, during COVID, Chandler to come out, say hi, catch us up on what was new in his life. But I think they were typically always, Bart and Krista were always there. Sorry, I'm just going back before COVID.
No.
Yeah, I think as we hung out, like we were together over Thanksgiving. I would chat with Chaz then, but there were other people in the room. So yeah, I can't think of a time where it was just me and him in a room.
So this was probably the first time that you did have that kind of interaction with Chandler.
Yes.
And would you
Yes.
say the same thing about interactions with Mitchell?
So yeah, yes. I mean,
So you never really had one-on-one interaction.
oh, that's what I'm sorry. Yes, that's
No,
correct.
no, that was my fault. And as far as the small cut on the toe, did you notice anything unusual about it? The way that you described it was just a small cut.
I mean, yeah, look, yes. I mean, it wasn't, I was looking for, Chaz was concerned about signs of infection, anything like that. So I was looking for redness, oozing. It was,
I mean, he does look like a Chaz.
I said if it continued to be problematic, you could go and get it checked out. But I didn't notice anything other than he had
Welcome
bigger than
in.
a puncture wound on the bottom of his toe.
And I'm going to assume you didn't notice any other types of cuts or anything that would have been concerning to you.
No, Chandler would have told her about it, though.
I just looked at the bottom of his foot.
Apparently.
You also testified about Chandler working at American Family Insurance.
Yes.
That information was provided to you by Krista, correct?
No, I think the first time I heard of the company was when Bart, Krista, Chaz, and my husband and I were standing outside, and they had talked about he had done an internship and had gotten a paid position, but they were trying to get the payment set up. And someone asked who was the company, and so that's when it was said American Family. So I think that's the first time I heard it. It was all of us together, and I don't remember who actually said it was American Family.
Okay. And was that the first time that you heard of this job?
Yes, I had heard that he had been doing some internship. Sorry, but that
She has to get a
sort of
certain number
progressed
in
to a
every day.
paid position.
Because she,
And
no
then
thank
the
you, like
last time, if you will,
3 others.
you heard about this job was when you and Chandler were in your home in the kitchen.
The next time I heard about it, yes.
All right. No further questions for you. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes. You said that there were times that Krista would have
Yes.
Chandler come outside and catch you up during COVID.
Mhm.
What sort of things did Chandler catch you up on?
Oh,
Lies,
it was mainly that night when they talked about the job. I know there was a time when he had moved back in that we chatted. It wasn't a lot of, I guess, catching up.
All right, thank you.
May this witness be released and excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good remainder of your day. And the next witness, please.
Before we do the next witness, I just want to go grab more water. I know you guys are fine with that. So just give me 1 second and listen to this lovely music. You like that? That was pretty fancy, huh? Surprise, be right back screen. Oh, I don't know. Somewhere in best practices it said it's a good idea.
State of Wisconsin calls Kevin Linsmeyer to the stand.
You can do so safely and.
No problem.
Good morning. Could you please state your name for the record and spell both your first and last names?
Yes, my name is Kevin Linsmeyer. First name is spelled Kevin. Last name is spelled Linsmeyer.
And Mr. Linsmeyer, how have you been employed in the past?
I was employed by the Madison Police Department.
As what?
Police officer and a detective
And how long were you a police officer and detective?
for 31 years.
And do you remember roughly when you retired?
On May 3rd, 2021.
And where do you live?
Buddy.
I live at 105 Oak Springs Circle.
You know, this fella should have a crime show on like True TV that is more comedy. I just feel like this guy is like ripe for character building. That's all I'm saying.
In DeForest, Wisconsin.
And where is 105 Oak Springs Circle in relation to the Halderson home?
It's across the street from my house, kitty corner a little bit. So, I mean, the lots do not line up perfect, but they're
Can
staggered
neither
just a little
confirm
bit,
nor
but we are
deny.
across the street from the Halderson residence.
He's just fascinating.
And did you know Krista and Bart Halderson?
I did.
How did you know them?
So let's talk about Bart first. I've known Bart since childhood. He's from my hometown. He went to the same high school as I. We grew up 5 minutes apart or so. And then I met
He's a
Bart
retirement
again
specialist now.
about 5 years ago when he moved across the street from me. And then Krista, I met through Bart. Krista was Bart's wife, and that's when I met her.
And would you just characterize your relationship with them as neighbors, or were you kind of friendly, or something else?
We were neighbors. We went out to eat with them once, 3 years ago probably or so. I mean, we visited outside as neighbors would do. So I would say we were very neighborly.
Okay. And in the first week of July of 2021, what, if any, observations did you make about the Halderson home or lawn?
So the first week of July, I recall talking to my wife about that the Halderson lawn wasn't kept up, which was very unusual. They did a really nice job maintaining their lawn, very good gardeners. And it was obvious that the lawn wasn't being cared for. So that was the first observation that we made.
Gardening was kind of a hobby for Bart, or at least you thought it was?
They were out regularly working on their lawn, planting, maintaining their plants. That was one of their hobbies. You could clearly tell they enjoyed being outside and working on their lawn.
And I heard that's a little bit competitive on your street, that everybody takes a lot of pride in their landscaping and lawn.
Yes.
As of July 7th or so of 2021, had you ever met anybody named Chandler Halderson?
I did.
Okay. And when did you meet him?
Shortly after Bart and Krista moved into the house. I know for sure I met Chandler and his brother and Bart and Krista then. I remember that distinctly, and I'm pretty sure there was at least one more time in subsequent years that I have met Chandler.
Generally speaking, though, did you socialize with Chandler?
No.
Okay. Did Chandler come to your home on July 8th of 2021?
Yes.
Do you have any security cameras of any sort at your house?
I have a Ring video on the front door of my entrance of house.
So do you remember what time did Chandler come to your home on the 8th?
It was approximately 8:30 a.m.
And what happened?
So the doorbell rang. I answered the door. I said to Chandler through the door, "I'll meet you in the garage."
Why'd you do that?
At the time, I had a very young puppy that needed to be crated. And I, didn't want to try to control the puppy and talk to Chandler at the same time. So that was the reason on why I wanted to talk with him in the garage.
Did you do anything as you prepared to go into the garage to meet Chandler?
Yes, after I created the puppy, I decided that I was going to record the contact I was going to have with Chandler. So I had my phone, I activated the recorder.
Why'd you do that?
Well, being a police officer, for many years, I felt, or I suspected something wasn't right based on my observations from the day before, where I saw 3 squad cars outside the Halderson house for an extended period of time. That's not.
Oh, it's a cute
something we
puppy.
normally
Hold
see
on.
in the neighborhood, let alone for a missing person type case. Usually the officers aren't at the scene for an extended period of time. So I suspected something wasn't right. I just didn't know what.
Okay. So you recorded the interaction.
I did.
And that, just to be clear, that's just an audio only recording.
That is correct.
Okay. Mr. Linsmeyer, I am going to show you what has been marked as exhibits 45 and 46. What is exhibit 45?
So does that mean he probably had a doggy door? Well, it's kind of a puppy. Actually, it looks puppy-ish. I mean, it is, but this was 2001 when this was posted, so I don't know. Meh.
So exhibit 45
You laugh.
consists of a flash drive.
And during the course of this investigation, did you provide law enforcement with your Ring video footage of Chandler?
I did.
Okay. And you provided
Oh,
a true
boy.
and accurate copy?
I did.
Sorry,
At this point,
I meant
would move exhibit
2021.
45 into evidence.
Any objection?
May we approach, please?
Sure.
No. No, you can't.
And exhibit 46. Could you examine exhibit 46?
Exhibit 46 is also a flash drive. It's green in color.
And during the course of this investigation, did you provide law enforcement a true and accurate copy of the audio you
lived
recorded in the garage between you and
Close
Chandler
or
Halderson?
next door to a former detective.
I would
He
move
has
exhibit
got
46 into evidence at this time.
Any
the
objection?
most
other than any
ill-placed
noted
cojones.
previously?
None.
Truly.
It is received.
I'm also going to provide 47 and 48 for the court record benefit.
Thank you.
So the Ring doorbell interaction occurred first.
Yes.
Okay. So we are going to publish exhibit 45 at this time.
All right.
Yes.
Boy's got some serious ovaries.
Hey, I'll meet you in the garage, okay?
Okay.
For dry eyes, get clear eyes. Don't worry, I won all of Ben
And so
Stein's
that's
money.
the Ring doorbell footage.
That is correct.
Okay. And the date on that Ring doorbell footage was July 8th, and it appeared to be the time appeared to be 8:37 a.m. Is that all correct?
That should be accurate, yes.
And this audio footage that we're about to hear in Exhibit 46, I assume that occurred pretty much seconds after that Ring doorbell?
Yes.
He recorded him? Was Chandler aware? That's the garage door. We could have trimmed.
I don't know if we've ever met. Well, I thought we did meet. I think we met once or twice when you first moved over there. I think we met. Sorry about what's going on.
What it is, but I was wondering if your door camera.
Sorry about what's going on. What it is. What it is, what it could have been. What it is, what it was, what it could have been.
Kind of ring, yeah.
Does it pick up the road?
Some, yes, some it does.
I don't think Wisconsin's like one of those single party states like Virginia.
Friday morning, early.
I think you have to be able to know, but
we can check. That's not a problem. Is that before 6:15?
Yeah, before 6:15. Kind of since Thursday midnight.
Okay.
Any notifications?
Okay. My wife is the one that knows how to run that, so I'll have her pull it up on the computer. So Thursday night to Friday morning.
Yeah.
Okay. You doing okay over there? That anything I can do to help you out? Do you need help watching the dogs or anything?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to leave
And
my dogs.
good to go.
I'm sorry, what was that?
My youngest dog was at a bad home before, so she's got to be under with me, my parents, or like there's my great aunt and uncle. The only people that she's okay being near.
Okay, well, if there's anything I can do to make life easier, I mean, I'm retired now, so I'm around. My wife's around a lot. She still works, but especially if it's like watching the dogs or anything, if there's anything I can do to make your life easier, I'll give you my phone number. You can call me. Okay, ready? My name is Kevin. And my phone number is 608-220-1203. Actually, let me get your.
Well, it's not anymore.
That's my cell phone, yeah, so you can text it too. Oh, you can just text it to me. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if there's anything, I mean, especially.
I think he suspected something.
We just got a puppy. We've always had dogs. Now we have a 13-week-old little work of art. But if there's anything I can do, I'm from, you know, where your dad is from the Valders area. I grew up in that area. He's 3 years younger than me, but we went to the same high school.
So you were with Uncle Brett?
Brett is 1 or 2 years older than me. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever talked to him. I know he used to be cross country, was he? Was he a big runner back I think in high school he was a runner, I think. And I don't know if I've ever talked to him. I know what he looks like, but he is 1 or 2 years older than me. But how's, you know, your family? How's your dad's family or Krista's family doing?
I haven't heard anything from my mom's family. They're kind of spread across the map.
Because you haven't talked to them, you butt wipe.
I haven't talked to them before. Okay. I wouldn't know how to contact them.
We like talkers
My
here.
brother might know how to contact her brother. So I think he's met her.
No?
Yeah,
Brett
yeah.
knows.
I'm hoping Brett can come because.
Thanks for stopping by.
More things than the police are.
Yeah. Well, if Brett, when Brett comes up here, if he comes up here, have him come over here. I mean, if there's anything I can do to help out with anything. I mean, I was a detective for 23 years with Madison Police Department, so.
I bet you Chandler didn't know. I bet you he didn't actually know. I just have this feeling, and when he mentioned it, I just wish that there was a camera on his face at that point.
That's kind of stuff. I know Brett was a manager. He was a boss, but he should have a lot of experience. But, you know, and if you have Brett's phone number, I could easily call him up. If you're going to give me Brett's phone number, I'll give him a phone call and just, you know.
No, you won't. As in, what is this? So the ring footage was from Chandler approaching Kevin Linsmeyer, who's a former detective with the Madison Police Department. He's retired. I should have put that in the slide. But after we saw the Ring doorbell footage, they went to the garage to talk because he has a puppy, and he ended up recording because something was off, which is brilliant of him. And I have a feeling that Chandler just saw him as a neighbor and didn't know he was former law enforcement, like 31 years, police detective. And when he mentioned that, I just wish that I could have seen Chandler's face just drop. But yeah.
And so I think we text that to me also. Yeah, send that to me. I've always wanted to meet him because I know he was a police officer for many years, and I don't even know if he knows who I am. But when I met, you know, your dad and Krista, he told me that Brett was a cop. I'm like, I knew that. I just didn't. He was in the military or something too. I remember.
Yeah, he was in the Army.
Yeah, I remember that also. But I'll have Lisa check the ring. I know the cops one of them came over and talked over here a little bit yesterday and asked if we saw anything, and it's like, no, not much. So.
It's too early. I haven't seen anyone up around that time anyways.
Do you, I read in the news release where the cabin is.
Sawyer Lake?
Sawyer Lake. Is that a cabin? Cabin. And they checked the cabin already up there?
I haven't heard what
I would hope they have the cops up there knocking on the door, checking it.
One of the 3 cops for the entire.
No, that's
area.
I don't even know where Sawyer County is actually.
It's not Sawyer County. It's just Sawyer Lake.
Sawyer Lake. Okay, I've heard. Okay.
County.
Langley, is that what it is?
Oh yeah,
that's what I heard. I heard of Langley, never went to get past Green Bay. I don't know much. So, but I'll have Lisa check. I'll text you once she checks the ring. So Thursday night into Friday morning.
Yeah.
Okay. And you keep me in mind, just everything I'm telling you, if there's anything we can do to make your life easier, you need to reach out to us, okay?
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I feel like replacing a glass pane in my.
And you have one
fire.
brother?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when your parents moved in there, I remember meeting 2 boys. Okay, what's your brother's name?
Mitchell.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if I.
See how he's getting the info?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I love that he is so good at weaving in and out because he'll make him feel comfortable with committing to finding information on the ring, and then he'll flip into a question, and then he'll restate, yeah, I'll have her go through that, and then he'll ask you a question. I think that's really impressive.
I remember moving all the boxes in here. Yeah, actually.
How long have you been over there for?
5 years since I graduated high school, and we moved just the summer after.
So what's weird is and I didn't know this until after you moved over here, but you used to live up off of West Mohawk Trail.
Yeah.
We did too, and I had no idea. I mean, and then we lived at 933 West Mohawk Trail, and then we moved to Mohican Pass up on top of the hill.
Oh, that's where my best friend used to live.
What was his name?
Nate
Hoffman?
Hoffman.
Yeah,
Nate Hoffman.
live right across the street from the Hoffmans.
Cool.
Where do they move to? Okay.
I lost touch when
I don't
moved
know.
to Plymouth.
So, and that's what your parents told me, that you moved away from that area and then moved to Plymouth and then moved back here then, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we lived, I don't know where your house was off of Mohawk, but we lived close and I had no idea, that, I remember your dad as a Cub Scout. I don't think I ever talked to him because he was
I hope
younger
he
than
wore his
me.
brown
But I
pants over there.
remember your dad and your uncle as Cub Scouts, yeah. And that's all I remember. I don't remember him much else. I know I never talked to your dad in high school. He was 3 years younger, but and your brother was older, so I
He's got a
don't think I ever
great
talked to
memory,
him.
this fella.
But
I'm
it's just so
impressed.
weird what a small world.
Honestly,
My mom went to school with my wife.
Great detective work from a retired detective just having a conversation.
So
It's crazy.
So, okay. Call me though if you need anything. Okay. Okay.
If you could think of anything, give me a ring, or if you find
Just from my law enforcement background, the best thing you can be doing is being in constant contact with the detective that's assigned to the case. If I was you, I would be lighting his phone up, what's going on, where are things at, just being in constant contact. They're gonna, if they're doing their job the way I would be doing it, they already reached out wherever the Sawyer Lake is. They would have had the cops check in the area. Did you give them the address where the cabin was? Okay. I can assure you that they're doing what they can on their end, but I would be calling that cop up, 2-3 times a day, saying, hey, what's going on? Or encouraging the cop to call you 2-3 times a day until, this is figured out. And I didn't know your parents real well. I talked to him. I knew your dad a little bit. I would say hi to him and we'd wave, but it's not like we were real close because we just weren't, so. But that's about all you can really do. And I'm not a big social media person at all. Don't know much about it. But were your parents big in social media?
Okay. It's not helping finding him.
Okay. So. When was your and your parents' workplaces have been contacted already?
Yep.
Okay.
I tried to contact my dad's, but his place is so locked down, it's hard to even talk to a real person.
No, and the officers know where your parents work.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're doing trust me, they're doing what their jobs are. So that should all be covered.
Chandler doesn't want them to.
Just stay in contact with the cops. They're going to probably ask for more information. If they have questions from you, answer the questions. Be in whatever you can do of assistance. Is your other brother, your older brother? Has he been, the officers talked to him?
Yeah, they went to his house.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. Does Krista have any relatives around here? No.
Just my dad. And I've contacted his side, aunt and uncle, his brother, his nieces.
Okay, good.
Can't. My grandparents. I'm pretty sure they're in the loop now too, but they haven't heard anything.
Sure.
So.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Just work with the detective as much as possible. Do you know who the detective is that's assigned?
It's on a card in my dining room.
Once you call him,
he doesn't know the detective that's assigned to his parents' missing case.
Calling you for updates, because what's going to happen is yesterday I saw 3 squads here.
Yeah.
Okay, so not all 3 people are going to be assigned the case. One person gets assigned the case because the other 2, most of the time, they're patrol officers or detectives. They have other cases they have to work on, but one person will be assigned the case. Find out who that one person is, and that's who you're going to call. That's who you're going to communicate with. You don't want to communicate with 3 different people because you're going to get the runaround because those 3 people don't communicate with each other because they're all doing their own thing. You need that one person that's ahead of the case. So that's who you want to stay in contact with. But there's all you can do is wait, pray, hope for the best. Has this ever happened before? Anything like
Not
this?
like this long of not hearing from them. That's why I went to the police. So.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. I'm really glad you did.
So, yeah.
I'm really glad you did.
So are we.
Did the police ask you, do they have passports? Did they ever
Yeah,
travel
I
out
don't
of the
know if
country?
they have passports with them. I can't get in our safe. I don't have the codes for safes.
Okay.
And that's where we keep them. Is
Okay. That's the stuff that they're going to check. And the cops have a way of checking to see if they got on airplanes. There's a way of them doing that. So there's things they can be doing on their end that I'm sure they are, because that's what they do. So, okay.
I think they play it during this trial, so we'll watch it if they play it. If they choose not to play it, then
if
we
there's
will.
anything I can be doing
I
to
can't
that
remember.
couple, especially with the dogs, just keep me in mind with that. We have no plans with this puppy. We have no plans till later this year, so we're not going anywhere with the puppy. Okay?
I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank
I'll
you.
drop you a text once my wife looks at the ring, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Mr. Linsmeyer, is the person that you talked to in your garage, Chandler Halderson, in the courtroom today?
I'm
At this
sorry.
point,
Could you repeat that?
the question asked if you would be able to recognize the person you talked to. Before following up with that, I would ask everyone not in the jury box to lower their masks for a brief count of 3 so that the witness can observe everyone's faces. Thank you. Please replace your masks. Go right ahead, Attorney Raymond.
Do you see the person that you talked to that by the name of Chandler Halderson in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you identify him by where he's seated and maybe describe the color of his shirt?
Yeah, he's seated in front of me to my right slightly, wearing a blue shirt, dark tie, and a dark blazer jacket.
And I know that audio was kind of long, but at the beginning, the defendant asked 2 questions. If you had cameras and what they pointed to. Is that fair?
Yes.
Oh.
And did you notice any disability or limitations on the defendant's movements that morning?
I did not.
Nothing further.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released from a subpoena.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations on your retirement. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
My goodness, they
Does the
do
state
look
have another
similar.
witness that would take us up to the noon hour, or?
I think this would be a good break. Otherwise, we'll go far beyond it. So
Okay.
it would be a good lunch break.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think the weather's a little bit more questionable. It may be a little bit slower for lunch today, and plus, no.
That the Halderson boys, Mitchell and Chandler, are. So again, they grew up together, very close. They called Kristen Bart aunt and uncle. So, Chandler and Mitchell would have been sort of like very close cousins to them, even.
The case or investigated or on. Good morning. If you're able to comfortably sit.
Why did the volume go down all of a sudden? Oh.
Safely and with good responsibility, testify without a mask. We would appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. Could you please tell us your name and spell it out?
Kelly Bennett, KELLYBENNETT.
Kelly, whereabouts do you live?
I live at 111 Oak Spring Circle, kitty corner from the Haldersons.
Sure. Yeah, describe if you could, kind of in as much detail as you could, as where your house is in relation to the Haldersons' house.
What is happening?
My house is across the street and one down, so it's
Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
across the street. But
There it is.
my house is positioned on the
Okay,
lot
so it's
unusually,
channel.
and it is the front of my house is facing the side instead of the street.
Sure. Do you have any security cameras at your house?
Yes, several.
Tell me about, just in general, do you have one system or multiple systems?
We have 2 systems. We have a Ring doorbell system, and we have our son works for the Department of Corrections, and he installs all the cameras for the prisons. And we have a system that was installed by him.
You have a pretty well-designed camera system then.
Very well.
Were you asked to provide the Dane County Sheriff's Department some camera footage from your house from the early part of July, between maybe July 1st, all the way through maybe the 8th or so at some point this summer?
Yes, on July 7th, I heard that they were missing, and I had my husband approach the police officers and volunteer the cameras.
Sure. And did you and your husband cooperate fully in turning over your camera footage to the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, we allowed them to actually log into our system, and they could retrieve any and all footage they needed.
And to your knowledge, time and date and things like that were all normal and normally operated on those camera systems?
Yes, on those dates.
I'm going to show you what's been marked in this case as exhibit number 49. And you can feel around. Is that a USB drive in there? Feels like?
Yes.
Okay. And exhibit number 542. What does the photograph on exhibit number 542 show?
My driveway?
Sure. That is your driveway?
Yes.
Okay. I would move in exhibit 49. In the past, you've been told that the Dane County Sheriff's Office were able to download your video footage and put it on USB drives, essentially, for trial, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'll move exhibits number 49 and 542 into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
Those are received.
Ms. Bennett, fair to say
Are
you know
you
nothing at all about this investigation other than what you just said, right?
Correct. I've never even looked at the footage on the cameras from the system designed by my son.
And did you know the Haldersons very well?
I met her once when I was walking my dog and just said hello.
So you just provided video footage.
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
We don't get to
Witness
see
be
it.
excused and released from her subpoena.
She may. Thank you.
Thanks
Oh,
so
well.
much for your time. Have a good rest of your day.
State will now call Joelle Lockwood.
Testifying without.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record and spell both your first and last name?
Joelle Lockwood, JoelleLockwood.
And Ms. Lockwood, what location do you work out of?
111 Oak Spring Circle, DeForest, Wisconsin.
And the person who just testified, Miss Bennett, is that your sister?
Yes.
And you work out of her home, essentially?
Yes.
On July 8th of 2021, did you answer the doorbell and correspond with a young man about camera systems?
Yes.
And that was captured by some Ring doorbell footage?
Yes.
And I assume you didn't know this young man?
No.
Exhibit 50. I'll just show you. It's a thumb drive or USB.
Okay.
Of the Ring doorbell footage.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, no, 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 no. It's bacon!
Exhibit 50 into evidence at this time.
Any objection?
None.
It is received.
That makes me happy.
Do you remember about what time of day this was?
About 3 o'clock.
Do you wish to publish at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You should be able to see what will be shown on the screen in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just meandering, not concerned at all about anything. I love it. It's a neighborhood that has dogs, And they've got security cameras up.
Hi, my name is Chandler Halderson. I live just down the road.
Oh, yes.
You're the one with all of the police.
Yeah.
I was told you have the fancy security system. I was wondering if you were able to capture the road or my house.
The police actually came and downloaded everything they have. But it's actually my sister's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they were here, I think till like 9 o'clock last night and downloaded all the video she's got. So we're hoping that...
Yeah, did it capture anything on...
We don't know. We don't know. They just took a copy of everything, and so we're hoping...
Widening the lens?
Yeah, and it's all...
Be able to get it.
Yeah, and it's all HD, and then I think there's one...
Especially in the dark. It looks like it has a little bit of night vision.
Yeah, and there's one on the corner of the garage, too. I don't know if that one quite goes that direction.
You know he's scared.
Maybe see this road and think it's
Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, we gave them everything that we had, so we're hoping they find something on there. So if there's anything we can do.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Oh, puppy. It's a puppy.
No further questions.
Creepy.
None, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a good
Thank
rest of your day.
you. She's starting to sing it now. None, thank you. Who's up next? Who's up next?
Stay called Kathy Schuster. You're gonna follow that gentleman.
Mask would be the preference.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Could you please state and spell out your name for us?
It's Catherine Schuster, Kathryn. Last name Schuster, Schuster.
And ma'am, if I may ask, where do you live?
4599 Oak
nervous.
Spring Circle in DeForest.
Sure. How long have you lived there?
A little over 4 years.
He's trying
I
so
think,
hard to make her
approximately.
comfortable.
Just gonna ask you some questions first about your neighborhood. Okay.
Oh, sure.
What kind of neighborhood is it? Is it a residential? Is it out in the country? Tell me about that.
It's a residential neighborhood on a little pond.
Sure. Do you live on the pond?
Yes.
What kind of things do people do on the pond?
Right now they're ice fishing or paddle boating or canoeing or probably about it.
Were there fish in the pond?
Oh yeah, definitely fishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know a couple by the name of
There you
Bart
go.
and Krista
Calm her
Halderson?
down.
Yes.
How did you know them?
They were my next door neighbors to the west of.
You see how he did that? That brilliant, just brilliant. I mean, he got in a little bit of other stuff, chilling, and then kind of swayed her into that was literally a masterclass in getting a witness comfortable, because they probably told her, relax, it'll be okay. We're only going to talk about what you know, et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes that only gets people more anxious. And so what he did was so great. She is taking deeper breaths and less shaking, because she almost looked physically upset, emotional, like crying, or going to. He did a really good job chilling her out.
Okay.
I'm not a nonverbal expert. I'm just talking out my butt.
They moved in,
which is impressive since the mic's up
I
here.
think approximately 6 months prior to my family moving in.
And when you say you knew them, how well did you know them?
Well, I knew Bart better than Krista. Krista was a little more reserved.
Bart, definitely talked a little bit more. I always saw him outside throwing the frisbee for his dogs and fishing, and my
They do
husband and
pondy
Bart
things.
would text sometimes or talk, and so I knew him
Do
as
pondy
as
things
well,
instead of Ponzi
neighborly.
schemes. Oh,
I think you alluded to
nice.
some of it. Bart would be out fishing or be in the yard with the dogs. What type is that? The extent of it, or are there other things you'd see the Haldersons outside doing?
Sometimes they would have a bonfire.
And I feel like that needs to be
Um,
celebrated.
They did a lot of lawn work. They really made their yard very beautiful. They did a lot of different things to it. So they always were doing a lot of yard work.
Sure. And your neighborhood, do people take care of their lawns?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
So you're telling me there's a
Everybody is
chance.
very particular about their lawns.
Does it at times feel like maybe there's a little bit of a competition between people on who does it best?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. If you're behind, you better get your yard mowed or your leaves picked up.
Okay. Where do you rank in this lawn contest?
My husband's pretty. I don't rank too high, personally, but my husband definitely is. For example, him and Bart kind of had a thing where like Bart would mow and then my husband would be like,
He is tuning in on Twitter.
Bart mowed, I better mow, or
Twitter
vice
live.
versa. That would happen.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Welcome
Did
to
you know
Night
the
Court on
Halderson
X
boys at all?
Live.
Their children, Chandler and Mitchell?
No. I had seen them. I had not seen Mitch as much as I had seen Chandler, but I'd only interacted with, or I have only interacted with Chandler twice
This is
since they've
Cynthia.
been there.
In early July of last year, so after the 4th of July weekend, maybe going into the 7th, 8th, that time period, at some point, did Chandler come over to your house?
He did.
Now, do you have any security cameras at your house?
We do.
And were those full functioning and operational the day that Chandler came over?
Yes, they were.
At times, do you turn the security cameras off?
Yes, I did.
Why do you turn the security cameras off?
Sometimes I turn the
We have two.
notification. Well, I didn't turn the camera
But
off.
you're
I
in
turned the
East County.
notifications off so that if there was a large influx of packages coming, and then my husband wouldn't get like all the notifications.
Sure.
He was at work. Yeah.
I think that scheme's being pulled on me right now. But, so you had a camera system. Sometimes you turn the notifications off and the footage would maybe go away eventually. But Chandler came over one of these days.
Right.
And did you talk to him outside or did you invite him inside?
I invited him in.
Inside. So if your security camera picked up anything that day, it would have just been that brief ring of the doorbell, pleasantries, and then inviting him inside?
Yes.
Okay. And did you provide that footage
Bless
to
you.
the County Sheriff's deputies? Did your family when asked in this case?
I did.
Okay. Showing you what's been marked in this case is exhibit number 52. Just a feel around. It feels like a USB drive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that'd be consistent with someone's video footage kind of being transferred over for court, right?
Sure, I would imagine so.
I'll move 52 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received.
For the court
Sorry,
record,
you
I'll
guys
move
need to start
53,
using cloud.
Not to be published.
Somebody start using the cloud.
Any objection to 53?
No.
It is received.
And I'll move to publish 52.
You may publish. What's going to be seen, you'll be able to see on the screen
Music?
in front of you, rather than needing to strain your neck.
Oh, sure.
Or I
Okay,
should say
thank
the
you.
monitor.
I get it. Thank you.
Did he wave? Did he wave? Yep, there it is. Dude, this guy, man. Hi. That's what normal humans do.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to track them down. So I was hoping anyone would have like security cameras and stuff like that.
We do for you guys, okay?
Thank you.
Take care of things.
Take care.
Bye.
You think walking slow? You know what? Okay. All right. This is around the time in which everything happened. They're talking about the windows being open. The defense says, was it hot that day? And then all of these cameras, he's got a hoodie on. He's got full on jeans. If it was hot, who's gonna wear a hoodie? Just saying. Just saying.
All right. So that showed essentially Mr. Halderson showing up and then him leaving when your camera again gets activated by his movement.
Correct.
All right. And you have any reason to doubt that the time on the bottom there and the date of July 8th around 8:30 to 8:36, that sound about right to you?
Yes. I thought he came over at 8:08 and left 18 minutes later.
Sure. About a 18 to 20 minute conversation.
Yes.
Nothing that was inside was recorded, of course.
No.
Okay. Let me ask you some questions about
Sure.
that, though. When Mr. Halderson first came in, what did he tell you?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah, what did he tell you was going on when he first came in your home?
Well, he didn't, he just came in, he took his shoes off and I said to him, I'm not very tech savvy. It's going to take me a minute, to pull up the cameras and see what we have. And he came in, he sat down on the floor against one of our oversized chairs.
On the floor?
And then, my dog went up to him and I sat next to my dog and I proceeded to look at the footage. I don't recall him saying anything at that time.
Sure. Did he talk about anything in your house?
Are you the Cynthia from
for that
Rugrats?
18
Yes.
minutes? Tell me about that.
Well, I asked him some questions. So I believe while I was looking up some of the footage, I had made a reference to Minecraft, which is because it was on the TV, which is probably irrelevant. And then, that was just a brief conversation. And then I found the footage and I said, unfortunately, the camera was off from 6:02 to, I believe it was, 6:30 to 7:02, which was June 30th to July 2nd. And then again, it was on the 3rd, off again the 4th to the 7th. And then
In fairness,
he's like, okay,
I don't let many people into my house. I
most
probably
cameras
remember.
don't go to the road. Just thought I'd check. And then I said to him, so your parents, why didn't your parents take their car? And he said, well, a couple picked them up Friday morning, which would have been July 2nd. Prior to me getting up at 6:15, they were gone. And I said, oh, okay. And you don't know who they went with? And he said, no, I've called all their friends. I don't know. They didn't go with anybody. And maybe it was one of my dad's clients.
Well, he was
keep going.
really reaching.
Okay. And then he said, well, they took my parents' computer today. But they didn't take my dad's computer. He has a high security job and they weren't able to take that. And I said, oh, I'm sure, they'll get a subpoena to get that computer. And he's like, wow, they'll never get into that computer. It's just too high tech. And I said, well, I think they will, basically the police will get into it. And then I just asked him about
Game over, man.
debit cards.
Game over.
I just said,
Nope.
Are they looking at their debit card records, to see where they've been or whatnot? And he said, no, they don't use debit cards when they go up north. They always take cash because they don't have any sliders. And I said, okay. And then
You don't
Sliders
have any
meaning
sliders.
like a credit
he
card
referred
machine.
to it as sliders, but yeah, I took that to mean debit card machines or credit card machines.
Did you ask him about his parents' phones and tracking them?
I did. Next I said, well, what about their phone records? Are they looking at their phone records? And he said, no, they can't get their phone records unless they have a dead body. And I said, well, they'll definitely subpoena those. I'm sure it'll take some time. I don't know if that's the right verbiage, subpoena or whatever, but it'll take some time, but they'll absolutely be able to get phone records. And, and then
Chandler said,
he said, well, I think the person down the street has some high security cameras. And I said, oh, do you mean Kelly? And he said, who? And I just said, you know, the person that lives in the blue house down the street. He said, I think I'll have to visit her. And then
I was sitting on the floor. It's so weird.
That was the majority of the conversation.
I haven't either.
Besides that, I said, you know, he got up. I said, you're going to be so happy when they pull in your driveway. You're just going to be so happy and it'll be okay. And he said, no, I'm going to give him earful. I'm angry. We're all really angry. And I said, well, no, you know what I mean? Like when your child goes missing and you're mad they ran away, but you're really just really happy you found them. And he said, no, the whole family's just very angry and we're all going to give him an earful. And I said, okay, well, you know, I asked if I could help with his dogs too. And during this conversation, sometime he said no. And I said, okay, well, you know, anything we can do, you know, either we're praying for you or we're thinking about you. One of those things I would say. I recall saying, but I don't know which one. And that was it. Sure. Then I watched him walk in the direction of the neighbor across the street.
You said when he came in your house, where did he sit again?
On the floor against, we have a big oversized chair and I had pulled the ottoman out. It's an oversized ottoman and I had pulled that out so he could sit on the chair, but he may have felt more comfortable on the floor. He sat on the floor with his back against the ottoman, or not the ottoman, the chair.
Did he seem to you to have any physical trouble getting up and down?
Not that I noticed.
For somebody who fell down the steps.
What was his demeanor like, or his effect when he was telling you these things about maybe his parents being gone?
It's hard to describe. I would guess kind of a quiet nature. I would say like would appear to be down maybe. Yeah.
Police contacted you at some point, I would imagine.
They did.
And you've been cooperative all the way through with the police, helping them out with video and talking to them about your conversations?
Yes.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released.
She may be.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
assistance and
Thank
have
you.
a good rest of your day.
You as well.
Thank you.
She cannot get out of there fast enough. For real. Good grief. She did it. Somebody give her a piece of candy or something. Nope. Sure aren't. Oh, we're all.
The state's gonna call us.
Another deputy.
Good afternoon, Deputy. If you are able to safely and responsibly testify without your mask, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Counsel.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name,
That's
both
a
first and
handsome
last,
man.
for the record, and spell both first and last?
Michael Wilk. It's MICHAELWILK.
And how are you employed?
I'm employed with the Dane County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff.
And what's are your job responsibilities?
I work a task force position. Within that position, I may be assigned to multiple divisions throughout the sheriff's office, including the bailiff's office, field patrol responsibilities, security in the jail, conveyances, and from time to time, I also am pulled for special assignments, which I was in this case.
And what was your assignment in this case?
My assignment in this case was to assist with video review, as there was a great deal of video that was brought in.
And specifically, were you asked to look at the video from a witness named Kelly Bennett's house, which was 111 Oak Springs Circle in DeForest, Wisconsin?
I was.
And how many hours of that video do you think you watched?
Many.
It was approximately 7 days worth of video, 24 hours in a day. So you can do the math. It was a great deal of video.
So you were the lucky person assigned to watch every minute of that video.
Yes, I was.
And what were you looking for when you watched it?
I was looking for all general activity that could be observed from the address on Oak Springs. I believe it's 4595, if I'm not mistaken.
So the 111 Oak Springs video shows at least a portion of the 4595 house and driveway.
Yes, that is correct.
During the course of this investigation, is it your understanding that this video was then edited just to show the moments in time where where a vehicle or person arrived and departed from the location?
Yes, that is correct.
And you've had a chance to preview this video.
Yes, I have.
And were all the vehicles and persons that you saw arriving and departing from the Halderson home captured on this compilation video?
Yes, they were, with the exception of law enforcement vehicles on the 7th, because as there were numerous of them, those were not included in video.
Sure. Those didn't have any investigative leads since you knew
No, they did
who
not.
they were. And during the course of this investigation, were you able to identify what vehicles were assigned or associated to the Halderson home?
Yes, I was.
And I know you
What the
review
hell with
lots
the
of
camera?
videos with lots
Now I
of
wanna
different
see it.
vehicles. I assume you don't have license plates, makes and models memorized.
No, I do not.
Instead, you detail them in a report that you could review later.
Correct.
If I were to show you a report that you wrote in association with this case, would that help refresh your recollection as to the make and model of the vehicles
We're here.
associated with the Halderson home?
Yes, it would.
We mentioned the big video footage, so everybody's like, I want to see it. We're like the Who's. We are here. We are here.
Correct.
What was the make and license plate of the first vehicle?
The first vehicle was a Subaru Outback premium sport utility truck. License plate number was 34269 Union.
And who was that registered to?
That was registered to Bart Halderson.
What was the second vehicle associated with the Halderson home?
Second vehicle was a Volvo V70 station wagon, license plate number 34270 Union.
And who was that car registered to?
That vehicle was registered to Chandler Halderson.
And was there a third vehicle associated with the Halderson home?
Yes, there was.
And what was that vehicle?
That vehicle was a Subaru Forester 2.5X premium sports utility with a license plate number of 718 Victor Edward Robert.
And who was that vehicle registered to?
That vehicle was registered to Dulce Melander. I may not pronounce her name correctly.
And in the course of this investigation, did you learn that was the defendant's girlfriend's mom?
Yes, I did.
So that was the car the girlfriend presumably drove?
Correct.
State would now move to publish Exhibit 49 to the jury, the compilation video.
Any objections? Or maybe they already submitted it.
Can we pause it just for a second?
Those are some amazing
So
home
Deputy,
cameras.
there's two boxes here.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that part of the video is enhanced to really look at the driveway that we want to look at?
Yes, the portion of video in the upper right-hand corner is the true view of the camera as you would see it if you were to watch it without enlarging any portion of it. The bottom portion is an enlarged portion of the area that captures the front driveway and front entryway of 4595 Oak Springs Circle.
All right, thank you. So fair to say on July 1st at 7:30, a Volvo departs.
Yes, that is correct.
And now we're looking at July 1st at 5:13 p.m. A Volvo enters the driveway. And then at 8:16 p.m., a Volvo departs the driveway. Is that right?
Yes.
Man, that car's moving. Oh, I see. Okay. I need to move the. Hold on. For a second. Come on. Come on.
And then about
Show me a
15
closed
minutes
caption.
later at 8:29, the Volvo arrives.
Correct.
Again. And then July 2nd at 7:02, the Halderson Subaru departs.
Yes.
Really?
And that same vehicle appears to arrive at 7:31 a.m.
Correct.
And then the labels do continue the rest of the video. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is.
No, I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen. I was doing a little experiment. I got a new like exercise watch, which is like just like an Amazfit or band or whatever they call them. It was like $40. I wasn't about to break the bank, but it measures stress. And I was just trying to see whether my stress when I'm doing this with you all is lower than the rest of the day. And it is by like 10 to 15 points. No, I'm not creating nothing. Nothing at all. I rely on my very smart people and mods to create anything that I need because my brain don't work that way. Mm-mm. But also, you're not going to see many of those on here. Not fun for everybody. I'm going with the visuals. Thank you. Love you. I don't know, but I'm starting to think, I don't know. We should do a little fast forwarding. Subaru departs, Subaru arriving and departing, Subaru arriving, Subaru departing at 10:08. Coming back at 11:30. July 4th, departing at 11:43 a.m. Coming Melander Subaru, 2:54. 2:55. Subaru departing at 3:06. Subaru arriving at 7:29. Subaru leaving at 8:27, arriving back at 9:18. July 5th. Trash taken out. Chandler taking the trash out, which I have a feeling he doesn't normally do on a regular basis. Chandler's out, arriving. 4:31 a.m. Where are you going, Chandler? We know.
Thank you.
Thank you. May this witness be excused and released.
He can be excused but not released.
Excused from today, but not yet released from your subpoena, so don't discuss your testimony with anyone else. Thank you much for your time.
Which is exactly what you all are. You're excused but not released. At all. Ever. Okay, so thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. Yay! We're a little over halfway through with day 2. Luckily, that lunch allowed us to push forward pretty quickly, which is awesome. Remember that tomorrow night is night court, so come on back around 9:15 p.m. I will be on. We'll continue on. Wednesday at 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, will be the very first midday missing. So please tune in for that. Let Terry know she's loved. So again, that's 12 Central Time, midday missing. And then Thursday will be the live recording of True Crime and Wine Time. And this time we're talking about celebrity crimes. And I'll just give you a little, if you're a Full House fan, sorry, I'm covering Lori Loughlin. So there is that. And then Friday's an open night. So, have some fun. Come to the Courtyard Discord. We're always doing something in there. They've just initiated a badge system. So if you take part in events, you receive badges so that we don't need no stinking badges. Yes, you do. You think you don't. You do. So come into the Courtyard Discord. Join us in there, please. We have a lot of fun. And the more folks that remain active in there, the more fun it is. That's all I can say about that. So thank you so much. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of your friends, family, and community. Don't let anybody dull your sparkle. You all shine so bright. So shine on, you crazy diamonds. Shine on, and I will see you tomorrow at 9:15. Bye, everybody. I'm just out of practice.